thing that they've actually figured out is, in fact, all these things that you've got right here. In the quick actions bar, this was already loaded for me when I signed up, okay? Or when I signed back up, I should say. They've gone ahead and they put these different widgets here that you can actually chop and change depending on what you've actually got going on or what's more important to you. Now, I'm not saying the widgets are most important. No. What I'm saying is that the top 5 most important things are right here down the side, okay? So when you're starting out, if you're a brand new email marketer, then creating a form is the most important thing, because without a form, you can't collect any leads. Without being able to collect any leads, there's no email marketing to be done, right? So pretty obvious one there, but it is highly important. I will walk through these things one thing at a time, just so that we can actually cover base on in terms of what it is that we're actually doing. So I'm just going to click on these and bring them up. And we'll go through them sort of one by one and how to go about doing it and so on and so forth. Now, if you're not new to email marketing and you are wanting to bring across your list from whatever responder you were using before, whether it's Aweber or MailChimp, or then whatever the case may be for you, you can import your list using add contacts, okay? And we will touch upon that shortly. But what I love is the fact that they've realized that it's the most important stuff, and so they put it right there for you to go about utilizing. Now, when it comes to forms, this is how we actually gather the email addresses. Now, you can see here they've all got name and email in there for a different reason. Now, when it comes to email, name and email, it's completely up to you how you want to do it. I've heard that, from my own personal tests, I have found that having just an email address has a higher opt-in rate, which is really what we're actually going for. The names once upon a time were really, really important, because people thought it was cool when you sent them an email and said, hey, John, nice to see you. Hey, Michael, nice to hear from you. Hey, Catherine, nice to hear from you. You know, like, people enjoyed being written to. It felt more personal, and therefore it had a higher open rate, higher click-through rate, and so on and so forth. Nowadays, 10 years later, where this technology is no longer new, the name is not as important as it once used to be. But it does matter in terms of like how much higher your conversion rate is. Having just the email does actually make a big difference. So for me, I use only email. I don't collect names, okay? Once people start responding to me and they start connecting with me on Facebook or through YouTube or whatever the case may be, the connection automatically happens in, and I don't have to fake it / force it through an email, okay? But it's completely up to you how you want to do it. But basically, a form is the way that people are actually going to sign up with you. This is not a landing page. We will talk about that later on. But this is what you actually use to connect in terms of your email list and your website or wherever it is that you're sending people to. Okay, it could be a landing page using GetResponse, which is another which is another great option for you to be able to collect leads. You don't need a website to do email marketing, right? So you've got all different types of templates here and all different formats in terms of what layouts you may or may not want to have. You've got list builder apps, plain HTML, and different integrations. So depending on whether you want to put it on Facebook or WordPress or anything else, you could create a specific form for that particular thing, okay? So this is probably one of the most important things. I would say it's probably second most important. I think the most important thing is a landing page, because if you have a crappy landing page, you're not gonna land any clients, right? The forms, at the end of the day, it could be a very, very plain like this. Like, majority of my forms literally start from scratch with absolutely nothing in them. So you could just have like a leave it blank type form is what I'm saying. So my mouse is malfunctioning here for some reason, but I'm just going to close this out and we'll go on to the next most important thing, which is to create an email, okay, or create a newsletter. The newer people of us, we say, oh, we're creating an email, we're sending out an email. Even I've been doing email marketing for probably 8 years now, and I still call it an email, right? I don't call it a newsletter, because for me, I'm not sending out any news. I'm writing you an email to connect with you, right? So it's very, very simple. Once you want to create a newsletter, this is how you send autoresponders on a daily basis, okay? So I'm not going to put any sort of content in place here, because I just want to show you the process. I've actually got another video tutorial on my channel that you can go ahead and check out with all my GetResponse tutorials. That actually shows you how to go about creating newsletters, like the step-by-step through. So for me, I just like using blank. I don't need all the fancy stuff, because I'm not in e-commerce or anything like that. But if you are, then you might want to look at those kinds of things. And then I just drag and drop across exactly what I want to do. So this is my text. So I want to put in an image. I want to put in some more text, and then I might, maybe I want to like add some social sharing. So for people to go ahead and be able to share my email newsletter, I'll have that here. And then once they click on this, it goes to that particular platform and it shares out the exact content that I've put together, right? So that's some pretty powerful stuff. I don't know a lot of people that actually share emails, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know how good of a strategy that is, but you can choose to apply that if that's what you want to do. I think e-commerce, things like that, I think that would work really well in terms of like social sharing. But mostly when you're doing like personal branding stuff, which is what I do, when you're doing marketing stuff, a lot of it isn't shared. People read and they want to kind of keep that information themselves. So what you can do here, this is the last part of it. So you can just go ahead and schedule, and you pick the exact date and the exact time and what frame you want to go by, and whether you want perfect timing on that email address, which, as you can see here, it delivers your message when your recipient's most likely to click and open. This So this is a proprietary system, this perfect timing. I've used it and I've had very mixed results. Like, it's worked really well, and then it's been absolutely terrible. Because at the end of the day, like, different people sign up to different things for different reasons. There isn't a specific time that they check emails, except for example, like when they're at work, right? Then they might actually check their work emails as the very first thing that they do when they walk in the office. What I've found works a lot better is doing time travel. Time travel sends your email to the exact place at the exact time that you choose. So for example, if I was to choose 8 a.m. Time travel, then that would go to 8 a.m. everywhere in the world, right? So that people know that, well, Sam always emails me at 8 a.m. So they become dependent on that. They actually come to expect it, and your rates will start increasing the more and more consistent that you are with your timed emails. And I've found, and I'll probably be able to show this in another tutorial, the statistics and how important it's been to be able to do time travel, and how much it's improved what it is that I'm actually doing. So what you'll find here is, if you just click on this, and then it'll go across all these different time zones to these exact people at 12:09 p.m. And it's showing here, if you picked the time in the past for some of these time zones, it'll show that that won't work. But if you change it, then everything will be all good after that. So I'll just show this. There you go. Now I've got 100%. Then you can schedule, because you want everyone on your list to see the email, right? Because that's your best chance of people actually clicking through and reading what it is that you're sharing. Now, another thing that's important here is the spam score. And there'll be a different tutorial on this, on helping you improve your spam score, because if it's too high, there are certain all email addresses, whether it's at Yahoo, at Gmail, at Hotmail, they've all got certain thresholds for a spam score. Every word that you put in, every $sign, everything is kind of calculated into their own algorithm. And each system has its own like allowability, right? Like some of them might allow a spam score of 5. Some of them only allow a spam score of 2. So if you send a 2.43, like in this case, every email address, let's just say for example it's Yahoo, and Yahoo turns around and says, well, this is 2.43 and we are 2. So every single person on the Yahoo, every single person on your list that is with Yahoo, it'll go straight to the spam box, right? It'll go as junk mail, because you haven't passed their score, and they believe that what you're sending is just spam. And they're trying to get people to stay on their email service, not to get away from it. And so that's why they actually do it. All right, so, and that's basically creating an email. For me, this is probably the most important, like once you create a landing page, this is the most important thing to know and to do as a beginner. So the reason I say this is because your emails are the whole point of having an email, an email marketing platform in the first place, right? So obviously it's very, very important to know where it is and what to do and how to go about utilizing it. Now, so with regards to this one, this is just something that I was playing around with. This is actually choosing your template for your landing page. Now, when you're starting out, this is the most important thing. You create your form. Your form allows you to connect your landing page, which we're going through right now, and your email list, right? And there's already an automatic default one for GetResponse, which is why I'm saying it's not the most important thing, but there's tutorials in that too, okay? Everything that I'm covering here, I will break down step by step on my channel. So I'm just touching upon the 5 most important things for you as a GetResponse beginner, for you as an email marketing beginner, the most important things that you need to cover to make sure that you're doing it correctly and that you're able to maximize the results that you're getting from the efforts that you're putting forth, right? So When it comes to creating a landing page, they've got a bunch of templates here that are already available for you to be able to use 100% without any worries of like, copyright or anything like that. So depending on what you want to do, so they've got the general ones, sign up and registration, promotions, downloads, sales. So depending on what you might want to do, for example, if I want to offer a free download, I could click on this and then I'm looking at all of these and I'm going, okay, cool, I like this one. So I'm going to select this template and I'm just going to go test and I'll go use template. You give it a name so that you know what it is for you and how, so that when you want to edit it in the future, you know exactly what it is that you're looking for. Now, here's what's really cool, is that they've got this option here. So this is a landing page, and then they've actually got a thank you page that you can go in and edit as well, which is really, really awesome. To me, highly professional. This is really cool stuff that email marketing platforms weren't doing in the past, and yet now they are. You're essentially able to build your own sales funnel using just GetResponse, right? And as opposed to paying like $97 for a tool like ClickFunnels or $49 for a tool like Builderall. Now, I'm not saying that GetResponse has a better sales funnel, is a better sales funnel tool than those tools. No, that's what they specialize in. Of course, they're going to dominate that space. But I'm telling you that for the price that you're paying, there is an unbelievable amount of value available in what GetResponse offers you. Okay, so if you're looking here, so all you basically do, everything is like drag and drop. It's kind of, if you know how to use Microsoft Word or, any of those sort of Microsoft programs, you're able to use these things. So if I go here and I'll just make some quick edits, just to show you exactly how to use. Obviously, it's not top marketing trends. Yeah, I'm in marketing, so I suppose I could use that. Enter your email. I'll just go enter your name, right? Enter your email address, because I don't collect names anyways to get the full report. There you go, 2018, and the name part is gone. Bingo, there it is, and that looks really, really good. And so once people do download, then this is your part to be able to, excuse me, this is your part where you go ahead and you edit your thank you page, which is also important. Okay, so I've got more training on this on my blog that you can go ahead and check out. And you want to obviously put a thank you, make it downloadable right here. You could have an email that goes straight to them with the downloadable option, and then what you want to put here is perhaps maybe a potential upsell, or you could have them going to your website or your YouTube channel in my case, because that's where you want to push most people. You want people to consume more and more of your content. That's how they're going to become fans. Okay, so the next step here is to go ahead and edit the email as well, the mobile part as well, because you're probably thinking, well, hang on, isn't it just the same thing? No, because a website on a computer responds differently to a mobile phone, for example, like a smartphone. So you've got all the things here to edit here as well. But look, as you can see here, the changes have in fact been made already, but it's always good to come and check. I always do. Okay, now you've got a landing page. You go ahead and you get the, you can either get the HTML if you want to, like right here, so that you can put it into your website, or you can get the actual, there will be a URL for this, and you can use this as your actual landing page, right? So that's really, really cool. I have to be honest, like I'm pretty biased when it comes to this sort of stuff, because I remember when once upon a time, I had to buy a software just for the landing page, and then I had to have my email address, and then I had to integrate the two together. And not only did I pay more than what I'm paying now for having these tools and more, but it got a lot worse in terms of like, I had to do a lot more work, right? So I had to pay more and I had to do more for what is now is just, I could just do it with clicks, right? Very, very simple. Now, I spoke earlier on about how if you're not, if you're brand new, then this is a part that you'll want to skip. Go to the next section. But if you're someone who's already got an email list, obviously importing your list is important. So it's really just a matter of you can upload the file, which is what I did, as like an Excel sheet, or you can do them one by one manually. So say, for example, you're just starting out, you haven't even created a form, you haven't even created a list, but there are people who are interested in you and what you're doing, and they're like, yep, here's my email address, please add me in. So you can just go ahead and put in the email address and name if it's required. It's required here because the list that this is connected to is requiring it, okay? But when you go ahead and create your own list, which I'll do in another training module, might even be available by the time you see this, then you can just go ahead and choose what it is that you say is required and what isn't, okay? So the fifth and final thing that's most important for beginners is an autoresponder. An autoresponder is what makes online marketing so appealing, beyond the ability to be able to scale your business, right? So the idea is that if you figured out how to make 10 grand, you've also figured out how to make 100. It's just a matter of increasing what it is that you're doing. I'm not talking about more hours. I'm talking about more money, right? So say, for example, you put in $1,000 of advertising and made 10 grand worth of profit. You can now technically put in 10 grand worth of advertising and make 100. Same amount of effort, different number, bingo. So autoresponders are one of the things that makes online marketing so appealing, because they can generate you money without you doing a single thing, right? So in other words, this is linked up to this list, but I could click any list I really wanted. And I could just go test, and on day 0. Now, the very first autoresponder you want to create, you must have it on day 0. What day 0 means is that the moment that they sign up, the first autoresponder is going to go according to the days and times that you pick, right? So it says here immediately or with a delay. If you click it with a delay, obviously you can click hours. How many hours you want it to delay? So for me, I like to send it immediately because that's when they're most interested in what you're doing. And with regards to days, I have all days available because I want autoresponders to go out on basically on a daily basis. Like I said, I don't want someone to sign up on like a Friday night, but because I've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday unticked, they're not going to receive anything until Monday. That's ridiculous. They're going to find somebody else who's going to be able to deliver that thing immediately to them. So once you've done that, then you go ahead and you pick an email. Now, you need to create this email yourself, right? So these are all the emails that I've had before. I can click one of these as my autoresponder, or I can create or I can find one of my drafts. So essentially what you'd want to do here is you'll create a draft and then you'll choose it, right? As the actual template, if that's the way you want to do it. The other way you can do it is you can just go ahead and create a new email. This is where I find it kind of interesting. They call it an email here as part of the autoresponder, but in the previous one they call it a newsletter. So anyways, so then you just go ahead and create it just like we walked through previously already, right? And then once you're done, then you click save until you build out the rest of your autoresponder. If this is good to go and you want to publish it immediately, just click save and publish. And then what you'll find is the moment someone signed up, so if I click save and publish, and if 2 seconds later someone signs up, they're going to get that first autoresponder.